Hello, hello. Oh, brilliant. We're just waiting for a few more minutes before the commercial category starts. And yeah, not too far away, everybody.
I'll show you once the one. Yes, and she'll have the caption pages with you as well. No, so you can do the run. Well, you can do the run through watching the judges. Okay. You can probably start your run through, but you just can't start with the judges.
Can I just ask, can I have your attention, please? Can I just ask those that have been asked to judge to put their hands up, please? Okay, so you're my missing one. Melissa, isn't it? Melissa. Okay. Thanks. We're just going to start the run through.
Hey, everybody. Before we do the run through, I'm just going to do a little bit of a preamble for everybody before we start the commercial category. And then I'll introduce myself. But firstly, we just need to let everybody know, and I know it kind of gets harped on about a lot in our country, but health and safety here is just going to be a quick message. This area here normally is not allowed to have drinks, and they've allowed us to have drinks, but there has been quite a lot of spillage. If you do spill something, please let someone know. It's no biggie, but we need to let someone know just because the health and safety is with the management. So yeah, we're just got to be a bit careful about that. Thank you. And we're just waiting on a couple of more bits and pieces, a few little technical issues that we're just trying to get some more information with the titles and the captions that are going to be read out for commercial category. So we're just waiting on those. But meanwhile, I might just have a little bit of a chat with everybody. We are just about to start the commercial category for 2019 NZIPP Iris Awards. And the commercial category is sponsored by Sony. And I'm going to put a torch on my little piece of paper here because it's quite dark. Here we go. I promise to turn it off when you're judging. So I'm just going to read the category description. Entry, and I might have to read this twice, so we'll just start off anyway so we're all nice and clear about it. Now, entries into the commercial category are intended for use in business and marketing, advertising, editorial or magazine work. Commercial entries may include advertising, architecture, corporate, food, industrial, fashion and sports photography. Entries may have been commissioned or self-commissioned. A commissioned entry is an image created as a result of an agreement between a photographer and a client. Self-commissioned entries related to images intended for commercial, editorial and or portfolio purposes. And we will be reading the title and caption provided to give the judges a little bit of a hand with what they're viewing there. And we've got some amazing print handlers out the back too, so we're going to have to bring them round soon because they've been working really hard, and yeah, they're just phenomenal, these guys. Super friendly, super smiley. Yeah, they're hard workers. So what I might do, we've got a few, before we do, I know judges, you'll definitely be able to see the run through, but meanwhile, I might get one of the judges up just to say a few words about themselves while we're all waiting for everything to come through. So I'm going to, if no one offers or puts their hand up, I'm actually going to pick somebody. So I'm going to give you 3 seconds. I can see Mike's hiding. So I'm wondering, I could either pick on, here, who am I going to pick on? This is fun. Mike, I think I actually might pick on you because you've just doing up his shoelace. Come on, Mike, we'll bring you down to the microphone. If we could have a few words about you and your team. Yeah.
Talk team. Judges, they suffer. They have to say everything. They're allowed to say nothing. They can't repeat themselves. They can't bring up new information after they've said something. It's the toughest job in the world, right, Craig? Yes. That's it, yeah. And we have to curtail to what the panel chairs tell us to do. So it's a tough job.
And as well as that too, they have a very strong sense that everybody is looking at their backs all the time. And I've heard that's quite tough, that there's getting these, they feel like laser beams are going into the back of their heads, and they're doing the very best job they can. So
Yeah, we all wear flak jackets.
So
Just so you know, don't worry about throwing things, that doesn't hurt.
yeah. And quite often, Mike, I'll have a bit of a chat to you about this. Quite often, a few may wonder sometimes why we pull judges in and out after, say, 30 or 40 minutes, and sometimes it could only be maybe 5 or 10 minutes. There are exclusions. For example, just say, for example, Mike knows somebody that he's actually mentored, or knows someone quite well, or it's a known image. Quite often it could be an exclusion. He may have to hop off because it could look like a conflict of interest there. So sometimes we have that generally jotted down. Other times they may see the image come up that they suddenly remembered that they know it, so they might hop off for a certain reason, or they feel that they just don't want to judge that image for whatever personal reason that could be as well. So little things come up, and that's why we're constantly bringing different ones in and out to rest them.
You'll also notice that after a judge has had a real long-winded rave about something, they disappear. So we're not allowed to sort of sit here for long. Melissa, when she does golds, she's normally gone the next print.
Thanks, Mike. Thank you very much. Now we're just going to do the run through now, and I'll just come up here and just tap on that ready to roll. Okay, you all ready to roll here? Okay, grab your notepads for your numbers. Oh, are you seeing that up there? Yeah. Brilliant. Thank you very much. Now, we're actually still waiting on the titles and the image captions to come through. Some of them we can read out from here, but we're just waiting a few more minutes. So we're just going to chat a little bit more about a few bits and pieces. Now, you may wonder about what these ribbons are that different ones are wearing. Basically, they're different points that are gathered, and this year this is the first year that they're actually not going to be a little change has happened. They're not going to be awarding the yellow ribbon to anyone, which is a fellow. So the fellow's been done away with, and that will now be changed to master with bars. So there's a few little changes happening too within the NZIPP distinctions range. So while we're all waiting for that all impatiently, Rachel, we've got a few Australian judges over here. Most judges we have got are from New Zealand, but we definitely like to have a good mixture and a good influx of Australian judges. So we're normally averaging 1 or 2 judges per panel. And Rachel is a Kiwi, but she's been living in Australia for the last, I'd say 2 years now, isn't it? Yeah, in Western Australia. So we miss her desperately, but we only see her once a year now generally. But we're really grateful for her help because she's got a broad knowledge of photography related. Yeah, but she's a people person deep down. That's your gift. Right, with the judges, we'll get the judges down just to the towards the front. But first, could we have judging? We'll have Glenn Howie, Rachel Callender, Jackie Rankin, Mike Langford, and Melissa Anderson, please. Can you all hear me out the back all right? Everybody pretty good? Okay. And for everybody online that's watching this, it will never be as good as the real thing. But we just started judging the commercial category, which is sponsored by Sony. My name's Simone Jackson. I'm chairing along with a very talented Terry Reeford Hand. Did I say your name right correctly? Yeah, I'm terrible with double names, so sorry about that, Terry. And he's going to be taking me over as well quite a bit, so we'll be hearing from both of us here. And we've got some amazing print handlers out the back. At the moment, I think we've got Kirsten is doing the bulk of the work. Kirsten, can we come and see you? Come on, Kirsten, we want to see this gorgeous face. Here we go. Yeah. These print handlers are amazing. They work tirelessly, and they really have to listen to instructions with all the noise coming as well, so they do really well. Yeah, sorry. So we've got Melissa's logged in, Glenn. So we'll need... Here we go. Rachel. Jackie's in. Just wait. Mike's in. So we're just waiting for Rachel. Woohoo! We've got a full pack here. Okay, thank you. Cancel. Could we have the first print, please? The caption is Architects Awards and Publicity. And I'm going to reread that just in case. It's capital C, capital M, Architects Awards and Publicity. Chris, it's all through. It's all through, but I'm not getting a score. We've just got a little technical issue. And judges, I will get you to remember your scores, please. Judges, could I have you re-enter your scores, please? We have a 72, and that is very even scoring across the board. Thank you very much for that. Because it's so even, I'd love to hear from who would like to talk to this. Thank you, Mike.
It's definitely professional standard. To become an award, I believe it needs another element, possibly light halfway down the corridor coming through, showing another passage area, but something that creates more visual depth.
Thank you very much, Mike. Much appreciated. Could we have the next print, please? The caption is early morning top dressing, comma, farmer's ear. It does not say commissioned or self-commissioned. We have a score of 74, and we have a challenge immediately from Mike. Thanks, Mike.
I gave this 82. I believe it's superior in terms of its the ability the photographer's given us in terms of a very, very sharp picture, but slow enough in terms of its shutter speed to let that the prop completely blur, so it doesn't look as if it's crashing. It looks like it's flying. It's visually dynamic. It's right. It's got a great foreground, middle foreground, background. It's got atmosphere. The lighting's perfect. The angle, the lens. I mean, everything's just great here. But they brought something more to it. Instead of just a really fast shutter speed to freeze everything, they've actually given us the appropriate shutter speed to give us the right feel. So it feels superior in its communication, and that's where I went to 80.
Thank you. Yeah, Melissa, thank you. I'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, so I scored this in professional practice. I think it has been well executed and it has been well handled. Compositionally, I find it a little bit cropped in too much. I want to be able to understand the commercial application of what's happening here, so I'd love to see a little bit more of a sense of scale. I completely agree. The plane itself has been handled well, but I am listening, but I see it more as professional practice.
Thank you. And Glenn. Thanks, Melanie.
My initial mark was 73. I sat there and felt, yeah, no, it's really professional, it's clean, it's done its job nicely. Listening to what you said, Mike, it's the photographer's working in a very difficult situation. Those plumes that are coming out the back are immaculately shot. The lighting's really good. Perhaps I was being a bit stingy. Don't know if I'll come all the way up to silver territory, but I'll definitely come up.
Thank you, Glenn. And Mike, back to you.
Yeah, certainly worth an award of some type. Regarding the cropping, it's a crop duster.
Thank you, Mike. Judges, could we rescore, please? And we just, Mike, I think just you could pop yours in. That's okay.
I did.
The passion, I think you still need to pop that in, Mike. Is that working on you?
Yeah, okay. There we go.
Well, Mike, you did pretty well. We've got it to an extremely solid bronze at 79. So, for the benefit of the audience, things happen when there's a 79. We have issues. What we need to do, we will be getting... can you actually sort it that way? I've got my technical left-hand wingman here, excuse the pun. We will accept that at 79. Yeah. All right. Rejudge. Could we have that rescanned, please? Yes. Sorry, the actual image that's up on the template's on the wall. We can get rescanned. So we're just rescanning the print because we will be putting those same scores in. So what we'll be doing, yeah, that's my bad. This is when it starts to get a bit of a drum roll for the entrant. We will be choosing, the judges will be choosing whether they put in a bronze or a silver. So it'll be 78? Yes, 79 or 80. So times like this, I feel very sorry for the entrant. It's not working. Okay. And judges, please don't look at the screen. Only look at the print, please. Thank you.
Okay, judges, what we're going to do is judge the next print. We're going to come back to this one later, so we can move on. So remember what you've done to score, 79 or 80, we'll come back to it. In the meantime, can we have the next print?
Okay. Could we have the next? We could have the next print, please. Meanwhile, for the entrant that has got the image up, don't worry, the judges are not looking at it because they're not allowed to look at it on the screen. They can only look at the print. So they're looking head straight forward, not looking at any screens, please. Thank you, looking at me. Also, at this time, could I please make a reminder to the judges, if you're talking to the print, I don't want you talking to the other judges, please. If you could either talk to myself, the panel chair, or talk to the print. Please don't talk to the other judges. That'd be fantastic. Thank you. But you're all doing amazingly. So the judges are, for everybody on the benefit online, the judges are up looking at the present print that is now viewing. We have a score of 85, which is a silver with distinction. very, very good even judging across the board. And who would like to speak about this? Yeah, Rachel, thank you. We'd love to hear from you.
Stunning, fabulous image. I think to improve it potentially, there's not much, but maybe just try and balance the tonal range right through the four corners. I think you kind of fall down to the bottom, and there's so much dynamicness in the composition that I think you kind of fall out the bottom. So maybe just more balance and control there could make this really powerful.
Thank you very much, Rachel. Thank you. And we'll just going to hold fire for a few minutes. We're just going to redo a few little bits and pieces here. That was a silver with distinction, so congratulations to the photographer.
Can we have the hats back?
Now we've just gone back to that previous the previous entrance, so the judges remembered their score very easily. They were going to score 79 or 80. They had very, very well in mind what they were going to do there. And the score has come to a 79, which is an extremely solid bronze. Well done. We will accept that. Congratulations to the photographer, and apologies for the technical issues that we had. And we're ready to go. Okay, next print, please. Next print, please. Next print, please. This caption and title is NCM, Styled Editorial and Portfolio Shoot. We have a score of 76, which is a bronze award. Thank you very much. We will accept that. And I would love to get a comment from, is anyone keen to, because we're very across the board. Thank you, Mike.
I think it would have been a little bit stronger had the angle of view been just a fraction lower, so that the skyline wasn't actually cutting through the heads of the two models.
Thank you, Mike. That's really great critique. And we could have the next print, please. This is commissioned. Rainbow Warrior. We have a 72, which is high professional standard. And we will accept that. Thank you. Could I get a comment, please, from Glenn? Thank you.
Just want to say I gave it a 77. I really liked the placement of that bird. The symbolism of that bird was very strong.
Thank you, Glenn. Fantastic. Could we have the next print, please? The title here is Yoga Instructor. We have a 74, which is high professional standard. And we are challenging. I think we need you're not challenging. Sorry, I thought you were just. I think we've got Glenn's challenging at. Yes, go for it, Glenn. Thank you.
Yeah, look, just quickly. I really liked a number of things about this photograph. I gave it an 82. Going to try and talk it up just a little. I love the repeating birds in the background. That's what made it for me. I didn't see that on the run through. I do realise there's a few issues with the thing, but you know, it's such a gorgeous day. Sky works nicely, and those repeating birds, for me, that alone is worthy of something. And I would like to just talk you up a fraction.
Thank you, Glenn. Just before you go, Mel, I think Mike. Oh, hang on. Sorry, no, Mel. I would rather hear from you first. Sorry, Mel. Oh, yeah. Sorry, Jackie or Mel, whichever. Sorry, didn't see you there, Jackie.
I also enjoy the birds. I think the birds are very well seen and captured. There was a couple of things. Obviously, there are some issues with the print in front of us, which brought me down. The highlights, I find that I'm drawn to those two particular golden areas, and I'm really struggling to see the shape and the form. And if that's the intention of the image, to direct me into that shape and form of the yoga pose, I just find that I'm being drawn out of frame.
Thank you, Jackie. Do you want to add anything there?
Mel probably said it, but I think it is in the crop, coming in closer and getting rid of those. All the elements within a shot should help to sell the product or sell the idea, and there's just too much empty space that's been wasted.
Thank you, Jackie and Mike.
Just a couple of points to add. I gave the 74. If it's about the yoga instructor, this is more about the environment than the instructor. So I'm told more about where we are as opposed to who it is. So that's one of the elements that I'm struggling with. The other thing is there's a bit of cloud that's just coming out of the person's mouth, the instructor's mouth, that's really distracting.
Thank you, Mike. And we will go back to Glenn.
Just to close, we're sitting on 74. I think it's a smidgen above that. I'm with you, Mike, on the little bit of cloud coming out of the mouth. On a certain level, that intrigues me, but I can also see why it's a fault. But we're very close, and if I'm totally honest about this photograph, it is an instructor instructing, but that atmosphere plays such a major role that you get from the environment. I wouldn't want to see an enormous amount less, definitely some less. It is too broad, but I do love the environment that they're in. I think it's worthy of a bit more.
Great commentary there. Thank you very much, judges. I'll first just have the judges rescore. And we've kept at 74, so well done trying though, Glenn. We'll accept that. 74, which is high professional standard. Thank you. Judges, could we have a blank screen, please? Glenn, thank you so much for your work there. I really appreciate it.
I see what's happening. That's it, I'm out of here.
One moment, Glenn. I've just been told some new instructions. You might be back. You did apologise. Yes, okay, so thank you, Glenn. Yeah, we have got you off, and so we'll get you logging in. So we've got Melissa Waite is coming in from Glenn. Are you Mel? Are you Mel? Mel? Okay. Brilliant. So we're currently judging the commercial category to all those online, sponsored by Sony. And we're all online now, aren't we? Brilliant. So could we have the next print, please? This is non-commissioned, Midnight Blues 2. We have a score of 84, which is a silver. And wait one moment, and I think Rachel's sticking her hand up. Let's have a look. One moment.
It's going to send the scores through.
We're going to send the scores through,
Decide whether you want to challenge this or not.
and it looks like, yeah, no, that's fine. We're going to send the scores through.
Are we happy with that, Douglas?
Are we happy?
No, they can't challenge the comments. They can't challenge.
So we'll accept that, Douglas? Cool.
We'll accept that. That is an 84, solid server. Congratulations to the photographer. Could we please have the next print? There's a blank screen at the moment. We realise that for the viewers. Okay, could we have a blank screen, please? Okay, so we've just, this is the previous image, and we can't get the other image on.
This one's locked and loaded, but it won't come on.
So we haven't been able to send it. Just having a technical little issue here, so we're just going to wait. We're not going to.
It's letting us enter our scores at the station. Do you want us to just read?
No, we'll just leave everything at the moment. Thank you, and we'll bring the print back to you shortly. Just for the benefit of the audience, we would definitely like the screen to be showing what image is going to be presently judged, especially for ones online. So we're just going to work through that at the moment. Who wants to hear Simone talk? I don't think the judges. We are currently judging the commercial category for those watching online. And one thing that we have got that we've only just found out about last night is there is now an app for ones who actually want to watch this online or keep an eye on all the programs, what's coming on in the next few days. It's amazing. The good thing about it is that it is, you can also actually watch the judging live through this app. So I'm not a technical person. I actually followed Ollie Dale on his Facebook post last night, and someone like me could follow what he was saying. Anybody can follow what he was saying. So really easy to load up and have a look at. There's amazing ways you can go through. As soon as you have to go to the App Store. Ollie's right here, and he might even be able to talk you through it. Here we go.
Can we just re-enter our scores for the last print, please? You can remember what they are?
Yeah.
We'll bring the print back. Okay, print was an 84, of course. Yes. Thank you. Can we bring back the print, please?
Right, so we have the next print, please. Thank you, judges. Yeah, we'll get you to go up and have another look. We'll give you a few seconds there. Thank you. We have a 73, which is a high professional standard. We've got very, very even scores there. So judges, you're all on the same mind here. You've done really well. Could we have a comment, please, from, I'd say, Jackie? Thank you.
Bringing this into the next scoring range might be attention to detail, the foot touching the edge of frame, all those little white shoes, they're sort of bouncing out of there, a little bit more emotion, and bring some more dramatic lighting into those expressions and help those expressions come alive.
Thank you, Jackie. Much appreciated. Could we have the next print, please? Thank you, Mike. Adam, we can just get you to... We'll get you popping up to the... If you can just pop up and judge the print too, please. Thank you. And this is a commissioned work called Heavenly Fruits. Titled Heavenly Fruits. Apologies. Just pop your score in as, don't worry about logging in, just pop your score in there. Yes, thank you. Thank you. We have a 75, which is a bronze award. And are we happy with that? I think we are. Lovely. We will accept that. That is a bronze award. Thank you. And I'd love to get a comment from Mel. Could I please? Thank you. Which Mel? Yeah. Whichever Mel would like to speak to it would be fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations on a bronze. I think I would like to perhaps to take it up to the next category. Maybe look at, we're talking about heavenly fruit, but I'm not necessarily feeling heavenly fruit from it. Maybe just look at some of your lighting techniques, particularly in the apple and the other image, and just really trying to enhance those.
Thank you, Mel. Could I have the next print, please? The title is commissioned, and it's Les Miserables musical program image. We have a 74, which is a high professional standard, and we're happy with that. We'll accept that high professional standard. Thank you very much. Could we hear from Rachel? You look as though you're keen to talk about that. Thank you.
I think to enhance this kind of image, it feels a little bit off balance, like everyone's going to fall over or the building's tipping, and I think maybe it's just a little bit heavy on the right-hand side. So I think really carefully about your composition, because the energy and the colour management is really interesting and well handled, but just watch your cropping and your composition.
Thank you, Rachel. Could we have the next print, please? This is non-commissioned, Gants Hill Tube Station. We have an 82, which is a silver award, and Mike is challenging this. Thank you, Mike.
I gave this 88. I think this is totally superior in its communication. What's really, for those in the audience that can't really see it, what's elevated this to a silver distinction is the handbag reiterating the shapes and graphics of the ceiling. That's leaving that person in with that is a pure piece of brilliance in seeing.
Thank you, Mike. And Jackie, could we hear from you, please? Thank you.
The person is what took me down. It's what brought me not into into an award range. I found that the person was looking away and not really engaging with that environment. I can see a handbag there, but it's just a bit of a colour that's a bit like the sky, and I can't see how that can elevate it into such a distinctive place. Yeah, I'm listening now, so go for it.
Thank you, Jackie. Rachel.
Yeah, I found the person really fascinating, Jackie, and what I read into this is a story about indecision and too many opportunities, and a person who potentially doesn't know which direction to go in. They've got a handbag, they've got a place to go, they could come forward, they could go back, they could go through any of these doors, but there's a sense of uncertainty and almost a fear around this figure, and on top of everything else that's exquisitely presented to us, that emotive story pushed me into the silver distinction range.
Thank you very much. And Melissa, you keen to talk?
Yes.
Mel, sorry.
There's three of us in silver distinction. It is perfectly balanced. All the graphical elements completely symmetrical, like right down there. And then there's this lovely human element. And for a tube station is essentially such a human element. So you've got the degree of difficulty in terms of waiting for a moment where there's no one else in this tube. And if you've ever been to London, you'll know that this doesn't happen unless you're there at 2 a.m. And then London is a very cold grey place, a lot of blacks, and you've got that in the person, but you've got this lovely, lovely little pop of pink, and it's not overtly pink, it's not really loud, it's just a subtle yee, and it echoes the roof beautifully, so I think it's well deserving of a silver distinction.
Thank you, Mel. And I think we've got Mel as well, really wants to talk to this.
Yeah, I feel I should. Everyone else has had a word, and I guess I'm sitting in a bronze award at 75. There's a couple of things I struggle with this image. I do struggle. It has a quite a heavy vignette for me in an image where I wouldn't expect to see that vignette just coming in on the bottom, and I do also struggle with the concept that we're trying to make this a lonely, sterile image, yet we have these warmth tones all through it. I sort of want to feel that coldness and that shoeberry. So I did feel there was a little bit of a disconnect between the concept and the execution.
Thank you, Mel. And back to you, Mike. We can wrap it up.
Yeah, the humanising of this architectural environment is what elevates it to the next level. It is clinical, it's very graphic, and it's lonely, it's empty, apart from the intrusion of this person. So the crux of the image is actually the moment, the frozen moment, the moment that makes the difference in a photograph. The decisive moment.
Thank you, Mike. Judges, could we please rescore? And we've brought it up a couple of points here. We have an 84, which is extremely solid silver. Thank you very much. Solid silver. We'll accept that. Could we have a blank screen, please? We're going to do a little bit of a judge changeover, please. Okay, Selena, we're going to bring you in and just replace you with Melissa Anderson. So you've actually, yeah, you're good. Thank you very much. Thank you, Selena. Selena is one of the Australian judges coming in. And we'll get you to log in there too. Thanks, Selena. Right, we're all ready to go. Thank you. Could we have the next print, please? is titled, it's non-commissioned, and it's titled An Unlikely Match. How you going, Mel? Thank you. We have a 78, which is a very solid bronze. And we will accept that. That is a bronze award. Thank you very much. I would like to get a comment from someone kind of middle of the road here. Melissa, Mel, no, okay. Who would like to speak to this? Maybe, how's about Jackie? Thank you, Jackie.
For, coming up into that next scoring range would be just a little bit more depth and detail in those, all in those little highlights coming through. The composition is quite beautiful, but I just thought a little bit more pull down the curves a bit maybe for me.
Thank you, Jackie. That's really good critique there. Thank you. Could we have the next print, please? This is titled Wedding Fair Publicity Shot. How you going there, Jackie? Oh, yep, sorry, Jack. We have a high professional standard at 73, and we will accept that. Thank you very much. And I would love to hear from Mel. Thank you.
Okay, very fit for purpose. You know, what you would expect for me to take it into the award-winning range. I'd like to see a bit of dynamicism, something a bit more engaging, and action. Yeah.
Thank you, Mel. That's fantastic. Thank you very much. Could we have the next print, please? This is commissioned and it's titled Fisherman's Catch. Thank you. We have a 72 average, which is high professional standard, and we will accept that. Thank you. Could we have, would love to maybe someone who's middle of the road there. Oh, Mike, you're quite keen to talk to that. Thank you.
It's sort of let down by the action of the people looking at the camera. If that hadn't happened, it would have scored much higher.
Thank you, Mike. Much appreciated there. That was great. Could we have the next print, please? This is non-commissioned and it's Midnight Blues 4. We have a silver at 81. We will accept that. Thank you. Really, very quite evenly ranged there. Could we have a word from Mel, or you're happy? Jackie, you seemed quite keen.
Yeah, just that next scoring range. I guess there's a sense of unbelievability about the flatness of that back building. Just a bit more 3D feel to it would have taken me there.
Thank you, Jackie. That's great. Could we have the next print, please? This is commissioned, and the title is Atrium. We have a very even scoring range here of 72, and we will accept that high professional standard. Thank you very much. Could we have Mike? Thank you.
Unfortunately, there's no real visual depth happening in here, and I think it comes through the processing and printing, but make it more dynamic.
Thank you, Mike. Short and succinct. That's great. Thank you very much. Could we have the next print, please? This is titled Wood Chip. We have a score of 74, which is high professional standard, and we will accept that. Thank you very much. Could I have a word from... Yeah, thank you, Selena.
I love the tonal range in this. It's beautiful, and the colour palette's really, really nice. I guess my suggestion to the photographer would be to take some focus on some of the extra details. Like there's a little, in commercial you can do some awesome Photoshop, well not Photoshopping, some good stuff. And there's just some details in there and some clouds on the right hand side that I don't think add to the picture that look like a smudge, and some little things like that. So that could take this image further.
Thank you very much, Selena. Much appreciated. Could we have the next print, please? So everyone online watching, we are currently judging the commercial category, which is sponsored by Sony. Yes. Glenn, could we get you just to pop in here in place of Mike? Thank you. Sorry, Adam, we'll pop you in there. Thank you very much. This is commissioned Cherry Heaven. Cherry Heaven. And that was commissioned also. We have a current score. It's a bronze at 75. Well done. Thank you. Could we have a comment, please? I might go for Mel. I'm going to challenge you here. Could I get you to speak to this print, please?
I didn't actually score this in the award range, so congratulations. For me, the heavy vignette really takes it down, and again, because of the use of heaven, you just want to see perfect lush crispness. So yeah.
Thank you very much, Mel. Much appreciated. Nice advice for all of us. Oops. Don't look at the screens, please. That was my mistake. Could we have the next print, please? And judges, I'll get you to pop up now. This is non-commissioned, and the title is Outdoor Equipment Catalogue. We have a 79, which is a very solid bronze. Thank you. And are you challenging that? You are, Mike. Thank you very much.
I gave this a 82. And the main reason is that it's inspiring. If you were looking at outdoors catalogues for buying equipment or representing the outdoors and the challenge that it offers, this illustrates that. And so as an illustration of a commercial product, it's totally in your face and challenging. It's scary. It's got a great dynamic. It's got a beautiful depth for something that's so simple. It's really you're not sure of what's on the left-hand side's in front of or behind what's around the other side. So it's got a visual play as well. And the scale that's given by the climber just takes it to that next level of communication.
Thank you, Mike. And Rachel?
Thanks, Mike. I potentially scored this a bit low. I'm on 72 because I felt like I wanted it to be inspiring, but it felt a bit flat and lifeless to me. I felt like maybe there could have been a bit more dynamicness brought to the image through use of dodging and burning, and to kind of give us a sense of the scale of what's happening in this image, maybe more of the rock or less even. I just felt it was just a bit lacking in a dynamicity in the composition. I'm listening though.
Thank you, Rachel. Jackie?
Yeah, I'm speaking for the Bren. I was on 83, and I feel like coming up higher, partly because of that, you said that flatness, and there's a double narrative for me coming in here. If I was a rock climber, I could almost feel this was an aerial photograph looking down onto somebody who's actually fallen off and landed on the ground. And I reckon that would grab anybody's attention. And that would go, what's going on there? And then they'd come in, they go, geez, all that safety equipment. Oh, no, he's actually climbing. It's okay. So maybe I'm on silver distinction now.
Thank you very much, Jackie. Mel? Thank you.
Funny you raised that, or that has been risen. I'm on high bronze. I'm happy to come up because I actually saw it the same way, viewed it the same way as Jackie, but I viewed that as a negative, like someone had fallen and gone, and you don't necessarily want to do that, but you know, but I see your point, Jackie, so I'm happy to come up.
Thank you, Mel. And Mike, we'll bring it back to you. You're great. Okay, thank you, Mike. We know you're fine. Could we please rescore this? Well done. We've got it to a silver at 82. Congratulations. Congratulations to the photographer. And could we have a blank screen, please? We're just going to do a little bit of a judge change round. Could we bring in Rachel and...
Rachel, can I get you to step up and give me a lovely judge?
Sorry, Rachel. Thank you, Rachel. You've done so well. Really appreciate that, Glenn. And we'll pop the orange in there. Thank you, Glenn. Anyone online? If you know that Glenn is judging, you know he's going to be wearing orange. He's the orange man. So he's just logging in now. Well done, Glenn. Thank you. We've got you all here. Could we have the next print, please? And this is non-commissioned, and the title is Royal Pacific Hotel and Towers. Thanks, judges. How are you getting on? Oh, brilliant. Thank you. We have got a silver at 81. Well done. That's very solid judging there. Thank you very much. And Mike would love to talk to this.
I gave it 86, which is a silver with distinction. Main reason for all the choices that the photographers made to achieve this. It sort of looks like a flip. It looks like just a normal sort of Photoshop technique, but this is real. The time of the day, the construction, the lighting, the angle of view, everything is just so perfect. So it's superior in its communication and visual content.
Thank
so,
you.
Yeah, that's enough.
No, you've done really well. No, thank you very much. Really appreciate that. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there. No, that's my bad. It's my bad. I'm not a judge. I'm just a panel chair. Could we have the next print, please? That was a great solid silver, though. Yeah, you were 5 points off, but I didn't see the challenge. We waited for that.
Did we think I was challenging? Yeah. Sorry. Please, yeah, please.
Okay. Could we have a blank screen, please? No.
Can we rescan the last image?
I'm going to do that. Could we have that the same print back of? I'm just going to double check what you've got there. Yes, could we have that print back? Now that was actually a challenge. So we would like you to put your initial scores in that you scored, please. You're 5 over.
Okay, thanks.
And so Mike did challenge this. So what I'd like to do now with Mike challenging is, Melissa, could I hear from you, please?
Okay, so I scored this as 73 because I did read it as a flip. You've pointed out my error, Mike, so thank you for that, and I'll be coming up.
Thank you. Jackie?
Yeah, speaking for the print, Mike talked about perfection, and what I loved about this was the imperfections in it, and particularly the left-hand side where the line has been allowed to go off, and that's what brought it in for me as a silver. Now, you're talking about silver distinction, and perhaps the longer it's been staying here, the beautiful tonalities between those golds and the subtle blues, it is not forced, and it is quite sublime, and that's speaking to me more, and it's got a bit of more humanity to it. So yeah.
Thank you, Jackie. Mike, we're back at you there. Oh, hang on one moment. Selena, thank you. Sorry, Mike.
Yeah, I'll be coming up with you, Mike, because what I've seen in this is different to just the squares. There's kind of geometric shapes, like round shapes in the sides of the windows that, also it does my head in, almost like star shapes in there, as well as the lines and the rectangular shapes. This is very well seen, very well captured, and I did notice that it wasn't a flip, that it was actually real and actual adrenaline. So I'll be coming up, but that's just an extra element that I thought was important to mention.
Thanks, Selena, and back to you, Mike.
Thanks, Selena. That was my rap.
Well done. Judges, could we have your rescore, please? We have a silver distinction at 86. Well done. Congratulations to the photographer here. Could we have the next print, please? This is non-commissioned, and it is Man Meets Nature. We have a silver at 80. Well done. Congratulations. Could I have a word from, I might just grab someone who's quite middle of the road there. Jackie, how do you feel about talking to that? Thank you.
To bring this up even further, perhaps maybe that Man Meets Nature, maybe a little bit more of the human element in there in some way, just a little very suggestion. And there's a few little spots, top right, little tiny little dots that could have been taken out.
Fantastic critique there, Jackie. I'm sure the photographer will really benefit from that. Thank you very much. Could we please have the next print? This is titled Wedding Dress Editorial Shoot. We have a 75 bronze award. Well done. Thank you. A good bronze there. Could I have a word from Mike? Thank you.
Being a bit squarer to the staircase would have actually made this stronger.
That's good learning there, Mike. Thank you. Lovely. Thank you. That was a bronze award. And we will have the next print, please. So for everyone online, we're currently judging the commercial category, sponsored by Sony. This is commissioned, and the title is Fresh from the Wild, West Coast. In fact, I'm going to reread this because it's got captions. It's Fresh from the Wild, West Coast. We have a 74, very good, solid, high professional standard, and we will accept that. Thank you very much. And Glenn, I think, wants to talk to that. Thank you.
Just as a quick comment, it was I really enjoyed the photograph, but the composition, I think a number of us had a couple of questions about the composition and also some things butting in from left-hand side of the frame.
Thank you, Glenn. Much appreciated for that. Could we have the next print, please? This is commissioned. Hair Salon Awards entry. we have a 73, which is high professional standard. Thank you. And we will accept that. Thank you very much. And I would love to get a comment. Yeah, Jackie, thank you very much for that.
Yeah, the emotion is lovely in here, and the colour palette is sympathetic to it all. But just there is some technical possibly problems that people saw with the red coming around the edges of the arms. Just be careful of all that and highlight that hair a bit more.
Thank you, Jackie. That's brilliant. And could we, we'll accept that. And could we please have a blank screen?
Mel, wait, can you pop out and let Adam come in for a little while, please?
And Terry, we've got Terry just getting a few judge changes over here. So Mel, thank you very much for your hard work there. And Adam, we'll just get you to log in. So Adam Buckle is now just stepped in as a judge, and he's just logging in now. Yep, they're all in. Brilliant. Could we have the next print, please? Yes, we'll just, could we have, Mel, could I get you just to pop in there for Glenn, please? Thank you. Yeah, Aussie Mel, thank you. Now this is non-commissioned. This is non-commissioned, and it's Midnight Blues 1. We have a silver at 80. Thank you. And I think I've got let's Adam. We have got a challenge from Adam Buckle.
Yeah. No, I just love this. Yeah, the color palette, the graphic, the texture. I just found it all really simplistic, minimalistic. What more do you need? Do you need that little cookie? Maybe not. I like how that little extra bit of paneling down the left-hand side just added that little bit extra.
Thank you. Mike, just before you speak, I'll get Selena first, please. Thank you.
I think what has, like I scored this 76, and so solid bronze. I think what held me back really is the darkness on that left-hand side and how it fades away into the distance for me. I feel that, you know, if you're going to be photographing a commercial piece and it's going to be enhancing the building itself, then I'd love to see more detail in some of that shadowy area.
Thank you. And Mike?
Yeah, my struggle was actually the blue light, which is the strongest part of the image, and I think it's overt. I think it would have been toned down considerably. The building would have been much stronger.
Thank you, Mike. And I think we're going to head back to Adam. Thank you.
Yeah, no, we've all had our piece and just carry on.
Thank you, Adam. Much appreciated. Adam, when you speak into the microphone, we'll just next time we'll just get you to speak in quite close to that. Thank you. Judges, could you rescore your images, please? And we've kept at 80, which is a silver award. Thank you. Could we have the next? Oh, one moment. Are you changing over? Or? No. We will have the next print, please. This is commissioned 9-pin rock. we have a very solid bronze here at 78. Thank you. We will accept that. Much appreciated. Could I get a comment from Selena? Are you okay to talk to the print, please? Thank you.
I'm struggling with the lack of information in the caption to understand what the commercial purpose for this image is. It's a beautiful landscape shot and it's been well captured and beautiful colour tones, but I'm struggling to understand the commercial application.
Thank you, Selena. Could we have the could we have a blank screen, please? Adam, thank you very much for your quick work. We'll get you back in shortly. Selena, thank you so much. So stepping back onto the panel, we have Rachel Callender is just starting to log in, and Mel Anderson logging in as well. So we've got you all on board. Thank you. And could we have the next print, please? This image is commissioned and the title is We Rock. We have a very solid bronze at the moment, and it is a very solid bronze, and we have a challenge from Mel. Thank you, Mel.
Yeah, look, I see this as a really good commercial example of telling a story from the beginning to end. You know, this is going to sit well in magazines, it's going to sit well in billboards. This actually shows shape, form, function. It has a resolved ending. And I think as a commercial story, this is really well executed. I would certainly love to encourage if we can bring this up into the silver.
Thank you, Mel. And Jackie?
Yeah, look, I'm on 73, partly because I think they're all professional practice, good quality images, but when they come together in this forum, they're not really coming together to tell a stronger story beyond the start and the end, and they're not gelling together as a print award. They're just good, very good professional practice.
Thank you, Jackie. Glenn?
Just covering the middle ground there, I was on 77. I'm with you there, Jackie. I found it quite busy to look at all 9 images. They do tell a great story overall, but the impact of that as a standalone is just too busy. Looks a little over-sharpened with the smaller images, and I'm struggling to find the great pictures within the good story.
Thank you, Glenn. And we'll go back to Mel.
Yeah, I think this to me actually tells a story of the people and the place and the form. So it has strength in the individual aspects of the image. And yes, collectively look at it and say, well, this is kind of messy, but we're talking about quarries and rocks and the storyline of how many people have to manually touch this to be able to bring it into that shape. I think when you look at it compositionally, it does flow, like particularly if you look at the bottom and you can actually see the lines are leading you into that resolution piece. So it does flow left to right. So we've had a chat. I'd encourage it in silver, and yeah.
Thank you, Mel. Judges, could we rescore, please? And we have it at the final score is 76, which is a bronze award. Thank you. Congratulations to the photographer. Could we have the next print, please? And we're just going to get Terry taking over while I do a quick toilet run.
title is commissioned Mary Poppins Musical Program Image. Print score is 70, majority of 3. We're pretty happy with that, so let's have a comment. Let's pick on somebody. Mel, you looked at me. Don't look at me.
Should I be frightened of you? Yeah, look, I think this is a well-caught moment. I guess to improve it, I'd be looking at some of the print and file handling, bringing some of the black back just a little bit so you can actually see some graduation into some of the colours and the black. Yeah, that's particularly in that background area.
Thanks, Mel. Can we have the next print, please? Scores, please, judges. We have an initial score of 83. And we do have a challenge from Rachel. What did you score, Rachel?
I scored this in 89, a solid silver with distinction. Because this is clearly a photograph of a building, but when I went up there, I just saw snowflakes, and I was thinking about ice, and I was thinking about the delicateness of nature, and for that to be conveyed through photography of a building, I think is really powerful and quite exquisite. And the initial impact when it turned around was just one of control, of balance, of harmony. There's a flow, there's this almost liquid, like you expect this building to melt, but then there are tiny pieces of humanity in there that are just so subtle and so well handled that it just screams silver distinction to me, because it is so beautifully done.
Thanks, Rachel. Mike, what did you see in this print?
I didn't see what Rachel saw, but I do now.
Can we
So I'm going to support that. Thank you.
Good talking. Okay, would be, Glenn.
I was in the middle there on 82. When it flicked around, I got very excited. I loved the first and second image. I thought they were fantastic, and discovering the person in the third was good. What held me back, however, was this lovely image that leans from left to right, or points me from left to right, then a centralised, perfectly symmetrical. Then the next one was again left to right rather than right to left, and that really bugged me. And that's what stopped me going up higher, and it's still something that bugs me very strongly. That third image just is not there to bring it up, I believe, to the distinction level.
Thanks, Glenn. Melissa?
Yeah, quick comment. I'm in silver distinction at 85. I would have loved to have gone higher, much higher, but I would say I've kept it there because individually these images are absolutely stunning. I see it as a strong silver distinction as it is, because the images are flawless, but potentially to take it higher, I'd even like to see that stripped down a little bit, but I see that very strongly as a silver distinction. The craft, the communication, the quality in this is outstanding.
Thanks, Melissa. Take it home, Rachel.
Look, I agree with everything that everyone has said, maybe except for you, Glenn, but no hard feelings. Look, I scored this a solid silver distinction because I think it deserves to be there. I didn't go any higher. I don't think it needs to be all perfectly matchy-matching. You know, when you think of snowflakes, like I saw in it, everyone is different, but they're made of the same stuff, and I think that is what was communicated to me so powerfully. I can't get past it, and I just love the balance and the harmony in this series. So, silver distinction.
Okay, thanks, Rachel. Let's see where this goes. Sitting on 83. Rachel's looking. Okay, we now have a silver distinction at 87. Well done. Good talking, judges. Well done. Okay, we'll set that. Can we have the next print, please?
This is non-commissioned, and the title is Nature's Picasso. We have a silver at 81, and we thank you very much. Elective, 1 moment. Yeah. Are you? Oh, lovely, thank you. No, lovely. Well, we will accept that. That is a silver at 81, and Rachel really wants to talk about this. Thank you.
Oh, just a comment, because we're only allowed to comment. Yeah. It's interesting, the title, because when I saw this, I thought, oh my gosh, this could be Monet's colour palette. You know, he's left for the day, and this is what's left on his paint palette. I think to bring this into the next level, I think maybe just handling of the sharpness. I think it kind of falls off at the bottom. Maybe even consider the size that we're presented with. But in terms of colour palette, it's really dynamic and well done.
Thank you, Rachel. Could we have the next print, please? The title of this is Lingerie Editorial Shoot. We have a majority 3 on 70, and we will accept that. That's just hit high professional standard there. I'd love to hear from Mel. Thank you.
Yeah, I think when you're photographing lingerie and things like that, really look at your posing, look at the brightest elements in your image. So we're drawn directly into that hyperextended knee, and you know when we're looking at posing, really look at the lines and the shapes that that we're communicating and whether that flows with the product.
Thank you very much, Mel. Much appreciated of that. Could we have the next print, please? This is commissioned, and it's Paparoa Great Ride. We have a bronze at 75, which is a just on bronze award. Fantastic. Thank you very much. Yes, we'll accept that, and we'll get a comment, please, from Mike.
If the flash was toned down a little bit, would have been a lot more realistic and would have scored higher.
Thank you, Mike. Bronze award there. Could we have the next print, please? And we will step, I've just got, Glenn will step out. Adam, could we pop you in where Glenn is there, please? Thank you. This is a non-commissioned and it's entitled Midnight Blues 3. This is a 79 bronze, and one moment. It's an elective challenge, so we do need to talk about this. Could I hear from could I hear from you, Adam? Thank you.
Yeah, this is almost like this steampunk creature. This is like this metallic hood that's opened up, and inside is this this creature from another planet almost. And you could almost see this face, almost this warrior type steel helmet with some kind of visor in there as well. And it's more than just a building. It's it takes you somewhere else, and that's what I'm seeing.
Jackie, you're a little bit other side there.
I'm on 77, and I'm really pulled to the highlight again. I saw that a highlight of the blue sky, and then the highlight on the bronzing, and I'm trying to make sense of why they're there and how they're adding to that story. I'm feeling the lovely graphic nature of it, and all what you said. There's a sense of cut-outness of the building and unbelievableness, but I can feel your helmet idea. Tell me about that really the intensity of that blue and how it helps.
Thank you. Just before you, Mel, I might actually get Rachel first. Thank you.
I quite enjoy the element of blue because I think it adds something that contributes to the narrative of otherworldly, outer spacey. This has got a human, almost transformer kind of piece to it. So I think it's quite comic-y. You mentioned steampunk, Adam, and I think that's part of it. This blue element is done on purpose to make us think beyond building, to make us think into the realm of make-believe, of what else could this be? Could this be a creature? Is this going into battle? What's going on in here? Who lives in that little thing? And I think this element of mystery and whimsy is created by that blue. And I love the choice of paper here because it's not too strong. It creates this sense of 3D-ness, it's like a pool of intrigue, and I find it fascinating, and I'm enjoying watching and looking at this image.
Thank you, Rachel. And Rachel, just one quick comment. When you speak, can you go quite close into the microphone, please? No worries. Thank you. Mel, thank you. Love to hear from you.
I scored this on 78 in solid bronze award. There's a couple of issues. I don't mind the blue colour. I think the blue colour could work quite well with the warm colour. It's a complementary colour, to the structure. However, I struggle with the handling of the blue, of that hot spot that's put up there, and then the hot spot on that architectural sort of tubing or piece. We've got all those lines that are bringing us down, but we've got that big hot spot in the centre of the structure, and then we're losing all of those details down, and I'm being drawn down to that corner. That's the point of tension that's bringing me in, and there's just no detail down in that area. And I also struggle with the front face of the mask or the structure or whatever just being a little bit skew-if. I would love just to have the perspective adjusted. So I think it is a lovely composition, but I think the print in front, I want to see that delicate shape and form handled a little bit more to bring it up higher for me.
Thank you, Mel. And I might go back to you there, Adam. You can.
Yeah, the bottom right-hand corner is actually the pivot point for the helmet. You can see how it's interlaced, so it can actually come down or go back up. The hotspot is just a mere reflection of the light that's out of scene. This is clearly a nighttime image, and that whatever else is behind us, out of frame, that is producing light, and that is the light that you see reflecting on the metallic surface.
Thank you, Adam. Judges, you've just finished off there. I will get all the judges to rescore this, please. Sometimes this happens. Okay, for that talking, we're still at 79, which is a difference between. We will have to rescore this. We will have to score this as a silver or a bronze award. We'll currently accept that. One moment. Could we have that image rescanned, please? Meanwhile, just while we're doing that, you'll know what you'd like to score, judges. You'd like to score that at 79 or 80. Thank you, so keep that in mind. So meanwhile, I'm just going to let everybody know, and I think everybody is going to want to hear about this. We have a new event happening, and the good thing about it is it's an open invitation. Now, it's Friday night, 7 p.m. It's inside Shed 6, so Canon is doing this, and it's how to win $15,000 to pursue your personal project. So that is amazing. I'm going to be jumping onto that as well, hopefully. So they're saying to join them for nipples inside Shed 6. So 7 o'clock Friday, Canon's offering how to win $15,000 to pursue your personal project. And I'll tell you the next one soon. Now, judges. Yes, 79 or 80, please. And it stays at 79, a very good solid bronze. Congratulations to the photographer. Thank you very much. We will accept that. Congratulations. It's great to have good communication, even if it doesn't move. It shows the good dialogue going on there. Now, could we have the next print, please? Oh, 1 moment. Wait, it's not coming out. We realise that you can't see it live at the moment. Yep. And judges, I might get you just to pop back in your seats for a minute, please.
Can we rescan this print?
Could we please rescan this print?
Hang on, before you
It's
do that.
come up now. Excellent. Okay, judges, I might pop you back up, please. Good for the exercise. Well done, boys and girls. You're doing really well. This is commissioned, and the commission is, and the title is Vitruvian. We have a bronze at 77. And we have a challenge from Rachel.
Yeah, I put it into the silver range at 82. I found this image really intriguing. I've never seen anything quite like it before. It's almost like portraiture in the future, potentially, and I really enjoyed the shapes and where my eyes went, with all the different points of light, and I found the composition quite interesting, and even there's an expression in that person that I can feel it. It's conveyed through the use of posing and body language. It's almost like there's a puppet kind of thing going on in there. There's a lot in this image, and I think the more I sit with it, the more I find it intriguing and completely discombobulating as well. I can see it as a movie poster, as a use for it potentially, or some kind of health science fitness thing. There's so many different narratives running through my head, and I think that pushed me into the silver range.
Thank you, Rachel. Mel, could I hear from you too? Thanks.
Yeah, I scored this 74. What I would love to see from it, I really do enjoy the geometric shapes and the energy to it. I would love to see a little bit more separation from the subject to the background. I'd love to see those as multi-dimensional, whereas I find that I'm being drawn into that heavy area, you know, and through the boots and the shadows, and I'm just not feeling that energy there, and that's what's held me out of sort of a silver level.
Thank you, Mel. And Mike?
Just to add what Melissa's just said, I actually find that the cropping's not quite right. The top should come down a fraction. The two dark corners on the bottom should disappear. There's just small things that's still worth an award, and I think that's what it's got.
Thank you, and we'll come back to Rachel.
Good chats team. I really enjoy working with you all. This has been a lot of fun, and I think I gave it a silver for the same reasons you guys gave it a bronze, so yeah.
Judges, could we rescore, please? Thank you. We've got it as a very solid bronze at 78. Thank you. We will accept that. Could I have the next print, please? This is commissioned, and the image title is Daily Grind. We have a caption for this, judges. Trev is inside a 15-metre steel tube, grinding slots along the length of the pipe, installed at Drainage Project, Northport, Whangarei. We have a silver at 80. Thank you. We will accept that. Great silver there. Could we please have yeah, Mike, you'd love to talk to that. Thank you.
I think if it had a bit more space around the outside, it would have done much, much better.
Thank you, Mike. That's really good critique. I appreciate that. Could we have the next print, please? This is non-commissioned, and the title is Not Forgotten. We're on 74, which is a high professional standard, and we will accept. You're not. Yeah, we'll accept that. Thank you very much. That's high professional standard, and I think Glenn really wants to talk to this.
Really enjoyed the story. Felt there was just a few too many images telling that story.
Thank you, Mike. That's very succinct, and I'm sure the photographer will appreciate those comments as well. Did anyone else want to make a comment on it? No. If you feel strongly about it, it's always good. Thank you. And we have a wrap. That's the end of the commercial category. Thank you very much. Now, if we could, just before you all go, we just have one more announcement to make. Judges, could you all stay in the room? For the public who are watching and everyone who's viewing here, there's been a change of schedule to this change of schedule is for the